Hey guys, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. We got a lot of requests for this one, how to belt. Kind of funny, I actually have had a lot of people that coined me as the king of belt. I wasn't coined as the king of pop apparently, but I was coined the king of belt. So hopefully I have some insights I can share with you guys on the subject. Well, with that said, belting is not everything that it seems to be, and here's what I mean. The term comes from the Broadway belt, or way back in Broadway when they would come out and they would sing something in what's called the call register, or the shouting or belting register, right? Now it's kind of ironic too that other people say, oh man, it just sounds like you're shouting at me. Well, that's actually what belting is. You know, you're belting at a really loud registration, and you have to figure out a way to control the air, have good support, and a relaxation response that enables you to do this safely without losing your voice, right? So what we do is we do a number of exercises at a reasonable volume, not too loud, in order to be able to grow our chest resonant or our call registration in order to be able to project and project loudly. And this is where resonance comes in. Again, I use this term resonance because it's very important. If you can grow the voice correctly or grow good vowel placement with a lot of good exercises, and I see coaches say the craziest things. You don't need to do, scales are counterproductive and like all this stuff. Guys, that's so silly. That's like saying, I want to become an athlete, but I don't have to work out. They're counterproductive. Or I'm just going to go out and play. Well, how many amazing sports athletes do you think go out and just show up for the game and have never trained or had to practice this stuff? That's just nonsense. It's a sales tactic to try to say, take the pill to lose weight. You don't have to exercise. Just take this pill I'm going to give you for $9.95 a month for the rest of your life, and you're going to look awesome. No, we got to eat right. We got to get sleep. We got to exercise. We got to do smart things that we know to be true, that are rational and not irrational from someone having some hyped out sort of thing. So anyway, getting back, sorry, to my soapbox, but stuff like this just annoys me. As we go to how to belt, I want to emphasize a couple things. There's a lot of ways to belt things, and some people's versions of belting might be different than others. So some guy might go, oh, and he thinks that's belting because he raised his voice. Other people might go, yeah! And that's their version of belting. And so there's some extremes in this, and there's some gray area, some shades in between. One or the other isn't necessarily right or wrong. It's just that we move into the call register. So now let me emphasize this. I'll grab my guitar here for a second, and let's just do a triad ah vowel scale, and I'll show you what I mean. Now, because it's called the call register, I want you to envision yourself to calling out to someone. Now, I want to even kind of create an extreme example of this, because this is especially for the ladies, because a lot of girls out there, especially sopranos, roll into their head voice way too early, and they go, hey! And they kind of roll into this head voice thing, and they've never developed their chest resonance sound or their call register, okay? Now, this is important too, because what's happened over time, I've talked a lot about bel canto and opera and arpeggio, and how this plays into this role of where a lot of teachers have trained a lot of people in kind of funky ways. And this is all the way from a university level, a personal coach instruction level, and. So ladies, I'm talking to you right now. The belting register was sacrificed at the altar of the high note. Let me say that again. The belting, mid-voice belting register for you sopranos was sacrificed at the altar of that all-powerful money-making high note. So maestros and conductors and whatnot, and vocal trainers and coaches would not develop the mid-voice at all. Their goal was only the grand finale of the night to get that big old note, okay, that's the money note, that's what I'm getting paid for, that's where the audience claps, and everyone goes home, the curtains go on, and everyone says, yay, what a wonderful, production that was. So because they sacrificed that, a lot of women that are sopranos were taught to roll into head voice early and then go up into these notes, but they were never taught how to bring this belting register into their repertoire. So for you ladies, I want to emphasize that I want you to envision something extreme, like someone stealing your purse. You're at a restaurant and you see your purse 3 tables over, and a thief comes over and grabs the purse, and you go, hey, stop, thief, that's my purse, stop that guy, right? Or someone stealing your car, or for you younger people out there, someone stealing your bike. Hey, that's my bike! Like, I want you to really, now we're not gonna overdo this and go, and kill ourselves, because there are some exercises that we do through open throat technique. Now, I cover all of this in my singing course called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else, where I walk you through this step by step on how to safely grow this. We don't go straight to shouting. We don't go straight to yelling. You're just gonna go hoarse. Think about yelling at a football game or something. You're just, okay, I yelled at a football game, now I'm hoarse. Ken, now what do I do? No, we work up to this like we're working out in a gym. We work up to these things. The same is true for you guys. And by the way, this is also really true for a newer generation of a lot of the R&B guys that roll into their head voice really early, and they've gutted out their mid voice, their belting register mid voice. So they've completely lost the manliness, so to speak, in this sense of this belting or call or, nice, firm, strong registration, okay? So what I want to do is, gals, you can take this up the octave, you contraltos, altos, sopranos. Guys, you just do this down here with me. On an ah vowel, I want a really nice bright pink. Ah, ah, ah. I want a strongly supported diaphragm. If you don't know what that means, watch my video on diaphragmatic support. We're gonna support the breath. Now, for you that, I don't know if I'm gonna release these or what order I'm gonna release these videos I'm putting out right now, but I just did a video on compression. And if it's not out yet, maybe I'll try to make sure I release this one after, so you can watch the video on compression first, and then refer to this one, how to belt. But we wanna compress the air with a nice bright ping. So, la, it's just a simple triad. La, for you baritones, you're gonna start to feel a tug, and the tug is going from your speaking register, like I'm talking to you now, into transitioning into this call belting register. And it'll almost wanna feel like a gear shift. And here's what I mean by that. It'll feel like there's so much girth or mass in the throat, you couldn't possibly imagine sustaining going up higher and higher, because it's building more and more and more tension. Well, I like to think of this like a rocket ship. And we've got 3 stages to the rocket ship. We've got the big, module down below, which is our speaking register, okay? We've got the second stage, which is module number 2, which is our call register. And we've got the top stage, or the third stage. I probably should do it the other way around, 1, 2, 3. Let's reverse that and go 3, 2, 1. So 3 is the speaking register, 2 is the call register, and 1 is your head voice or connecting passaggio register. So as we start to ascend, we pare down the sound and make it smaller, and we let that stage or module fall away. And then what we have left are the 2 stages. And as we go up even higher, if we want to go, we want to go through that passaggio way up into the head voice, we let that second stage fall away, and all that's left is stage 1. And then on the way back down, we reconnect those modules so that they can, redock, so to speak, on the way back down. So we go back and regain all of that wonderful warmth that we have for our lower registration. So again, as I'm going higher, right here, I'm getting that shift. If you notice, I'm not real big on the sound. I'm thinning it out and paring it down, and the higher up I go. Now, that doesn't mean to make it thin and wiry and harsh and shrill and brash. That's not my point. In my course, I cover how we take our vowel sounds and we miniaturize them. Kind of like the difference between playing golf on a big course and playing miniature golf. We play a smaller game up top, and we have the vocal tract, which is your throat. We have the shape of the vowels be the same as they were on the bottom as far as the color and the bigness. We just make them smaller. And as we make them smaller, they're more manageable, and we're not dragging all this weight and girth up into the throat as we continue to ascend. Right? So if you notice that instead of down here, how big I was on the sound, listen up here. Hear how small I am? So I'm pitching the sound a little forward, I'm bringing a little mask into the sound, I'm controlling the vowels, I've got good support, and I've got good vowel placement, and we learn about vowel modifications and how these vowel modifications play a role in this. So now when I go to belt, yeah, 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 right? I can get into a smaller space And I'm actually kind of deceiving you a little bit because I'm making you think that I'm just killing it, singing it really loud, when in fact I'm using resonance, or allowing the resonance I've built over time in the gym. When I worked out, I built up some muscles, and I'm letting that do my work for me rather than trying to kill you with so much overuse of air and girth and mass in the throat, okay? Hope this was beneficial to you guys. Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. Stop by my singers forums, man. They're free. I've got over 11,000 people in there where we negotiate and discuss all of this stuff. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. I'm all over the place, guys. And until next time, peace out. Thunderstruck!